Now for global business updates, Rotus Udiri joins us. Good morning, Rotus.
Good morning, Dr. Obasi. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning,
Rufai.
All our viewers. Friday, yes. And we have green on the screen. Know what I mean? It's all across Asia here. China, Hong Kong, Japan, Korea, India, Australia, tracking Wall Street. Let's get to Wall Street. Wall Street, we saw record highs, new records. I remember when the S&P 500 was at 6,100 points, and that was a record. Now 6,009, and we've got Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, asset managers have said the S&P 500 could get to 7,800 by the end of 2026 or even higher. Dow Jones also a new record, 48,740. You will notice the NASDAQ was down yesterday, and it looks like investors, maybe because of these AI fears from a couple of names like Oracle and so on, rotated out of tech stocks and went into the more traditional, because we saw Visa up, JP Morgan, financials, and so on and so forth. So that's what we're seeing there for the US markets. Reddit is taking the Australian government to court over the under 16 social media ban. They're saying that it basically restricts quote-unquote political speech. It also says that they are technically not like other social media accounts, because I don't know if anyone out there uses Reddit. I do. You just go on there. It's a forum where people just talk. It's kind of like, what was that very famous one in Nigeria? Nairaland, right? It's kind of like that. It's just a forum where you go on. You don't really need an account technically. And, you know, the challenges are ramping up because, again, for a parent that purchases a phone for their child and buys data for their child, can the government really come into a household and tell a parent what their child is supposed to be doing on their phones? Isn't that the parent's job? Is that the government job? That continues to be the debate. We'll see where this court case goes. Walt Disney was one of the stocks that was up yesterday in U.S. markets, 2.42%, $111.46 is where it closed. Even in after-hours trading, it's up by about 1.7%. And that is on the back of a new deal signed with OpenAI. So basically, Disney is going to say they're going to invest $1 billion in OpenAI, but OpenAI is also going to pay them to license famous Walt Disney characters to be used in Sora. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, all those folks. And I think we have a demonstration. If you look at how Sora is, so for example, this is a guy racing a cheetah. This is not real. This was made in Sora. This is a weightlifter competing against a gorilla. This man is racing a crocodile. And all these were made in Sora. They are not real. This guy is arm wrestling a grizzly bear. So if these were Disney characters, Walt Disney is going to be making money from Sora when those... Disney right now is suing Midjourney for using their characters in their video generation. You saw what I did with myself on the rooftop and all those other things I've demonstrated in the past. If you use a character that is licensed to a company, you are infringing on their intellectual property. So this is where we are now, to where Disney is saying, you know what, if you can't beat them, join them. And this is I think it's a 3-year licensing deal. Speaking of OpenAI, remember I talked about, you saw me raving about Gemini 3.0 and the competition it's bringing to OpenAI. So yesterday, OpenAI have now released ChatGPT 5.2. They say that it is actually more, intuitive, better at coding, but it is basically because of the competition from Gemini 3.0 that we've now seen this launch of ChatGPT 5.2. So we'll see how things go there. Going to Nigeria, we had trade data released from the Bureau of Statistics, and we've continued to maintain a trade surplus. Total trade 38.9 trillion in the third quarter of this year. Exports 22.8 trillion. No surprise, crude oil and oil and gas made up the majority of exports. Imports are 6.1. You subtract this from that, 6.6 trillion naira trade surplus in the third quarter. 27.2% higher than where we were in the third quarter of 2024. I think it was 5.2 trillion, but 10% lower than when we were in the second quarter of this year. That was a 7.2 trillion naira trade surplus. And again, with the exchange rate stability, our exports are now cheaper. That, of course, has also helped out there to boost our trade numbers. Nigerian Stock Exchange rebounded yesterday, up by 74 basis points to 147,950 points. The market is up 43.7%. Dangote Sugar, Nigerian breweries, MTN Nigeria, and PZ Cussons were the gainers that we saw. PZ Cussons was up by 9.3% yesterday, 45 naira. This is a stock that was trading at 25 naira at the beginning of this year. And so if you invested in PZ Cussons to start the year, you are smiling. 80% gain so far this year. One of the reasons why the stock gained was because PZ Cussons has announced its plan to reverse its exits from Africa. Look, there have been a number of companies that have been exiting Nigeria, so this was something that made the news and actually impacted the stock. They've cited stabilization in the Nigerian economy from a currency perspective, and of course, with what we're seeing with the economic growth, pointed to Africa population growth, saying that, look, this is something that's going to benefit us in terms of the consumer goods that we sell, and they plan to deepen their footprint not only in Nigeria, but Ghana and Kenya. This is Jonathan Myers, part of a statement that they put out yesterday, CEO of PZ Cussons, after a thorough review of the remainder of the Africa businesses and careful evaluation of the offers received. The board believes it is in the best interest of our stakeholders to retain the business in Africa. And then part of the statement that they put out, Nigeria's population alone is forecast to increase by over 100 million, further benefiting from urbanization and rapidly growing middle classes. Before we came on air, we were talking about all the ads being played on Arise News, how they've increased. Recent economic and currency trends have been more favorable, supporting strong double-digit revenue growth in our Africa businesses in the first half of the financial year. That's our updates for today.
Festive period, Christmas period, commercial verticals normally go up.
Oh yeah, which is a good
because
sign.
advert is seasonal.
Okay, PZ Cussons coming back. I hope other companies that left Nigeria will follow the example of PZ Cussons, makers of Imperial Leather, and what else?
You have to promote them.
I still use that soap. I'm not gonna lie. I know the sales team.
you like Imperial
I still
Leather
use
too?
Imperial Leather. It's
I know a lot of people don't use Imperial Leather.
Hey, it's a great
Premier soap.
Imperial Leather and Premier. We hope Sanofi will come back. We hope that, Total Energies will come back. We hope that all the companies that left, Pick and Pay and all of those, will come back. Since PZ Cussons says Nigeria is stabilizing.